say good morning. Good morning to our listeners. Good morning to our viewers. Welcome to another edition of To The Point for today, Tuesday, the second day of December. Yes, yesterday we said welcome to December. Now we're already the second day within the month. Welcome to those of you via our social media platforms. Good morning. Those of you over in the diaspora who are listening and viewing, good morning to you also, and welcome. It's Opposition Tuesday today on today's edition of To The Point. We have Mr. Nimrod Ollivierre with us this morning. Mr. Ollivierre, good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning to you, GT, and to all your listeners here. And we know you're international, so in the diaspora and beyond. And a special good morning also to all our friends on the other side that listen to what we had to say and comment. We appreciate it because that's the only way we can develop.
Yes, so true. I mean, it's about sharing information that each other can of course. Sometimes the information becomes debatable.
Yes,
you understand, but it's just a matter of understanding what each other is saying.
But a good educational debate is always welcome.
So true. I certainly agree with you on that point. Let's get into the conversation this morning. In a few weeks from now, it will be Christmas, and there's always that build-up that we're seeing. Tell me, how would you describe the mood, especially in households, especially within your constituency, as they prepare for Christmas this year?
I think this year the mood is a somber one, but not somber in terms of sad, somber in terms of reality. The economics is not economicing, if that's the
way to put it. All right.
But and so people are really frightened as to how they will get through. Now, it's Christmas time, and we grew up in a time where, most of our families didn't have much, but our parents always made it memorable when it comes to Christmas, right? I don't think as a child, we were not rich, we were not wealthy, but I don't think I ever had a bad Christmas, so to speak. Okay. And so I'm confident households would make it through, probably not as they did in previous years with providing,
I mean, like we're going to have that last minute build up per se, or you think that's what's going to happen?
I don't think it will be a last minute build up per se, but what I'm saying is that families would adjust and make it happen. So in their own way. So it may not be, let's put it this way, if you are, accustomed with having the beef and the pork leg, maybe you might just have the pork leg.
One would have to
think. Not that they would want to do that, but I think the adjustment is already started. And in talking to constituents, I'm getting it. Up until this morning, right before I come here, I had a couple of calls with family. Look, today's the 1st of December, and they're already expressing concern. And calls this morning, Mr. Nimrod, I don't know, are you, would you be able to do this and do that? And, so I'm not sure if there was something read out yesterday that would be implemented to help ease the economic costs for.
We certainly heard some info being mentioned, so we're certainly going to see how when the stages pops in, how things will spread out. Maybe not for Christmas, but it's of course
definitely because
maybe for 2026 more or less.
Right, because to have policies implemented and enforced and effective within 3 weeks or so, it's normally not. You would need a little more time.
There's that free barrel implementation, which starts on the 8th till the 6th of January. So hope some folks will make some use of that within that time. Well, if you already shipped, maybe you probably will enjoy that benefit.
If it would be here in time.
Yes.
And at the same time, we have to be cognizant that the places where the barrels are coming from, they're too experiencing a little economic strife.
Yeah.
So the question is, what the quantity or the amount of barrels that would normally be shipped, would they even ship?
Even get that amount?
Because nobody didn't call me yet and tell me they're sending a barrel. I'm going to have to call Mrs. Ollivierre and find out that because she didn't tell me I'm getting a barrel for Christmas.
Well, you're probably out of that loop. Tell me, I mean, you spoke about families and so forth. How are some of the concerns that you've been hearing from families, especially when it comes to meeting their needs and so forth? Especially what are those main issues they're mentioning?
Out front, I know we touched on a little on the economic back. I will settle back, but out front, the bills.
Yeah.
Right, paying the bills. That's concerned because we are a society in Grenada here where people are very concerned about paying their bills, right? I'm still amazed that on the month end, even though you have all the technology and the companies are making it a lot easier to pay the bills now, but at month end, you still see people taking the bus, going to St. George's and standing up in the long line.
Folks are still keeping that normal, that normal traditional way of how they do things.
Right. So that's one of the major concerns that I get on a daily basis as I travel through the constituency going from door to door. I also get a lot of calls seeking assistance with paying the bills. So the bills are a big one, and more so Glen and Nawasa.
Yeah, I mean, if folks kind of is having issues with the bill, then Christmas shopping is going to be another concern again.
It's going to be a concern. So tied after the bill, right? Maybe right after the bill is the request for assistance with some food.
Yeah.
Listen, I could tell you, normally in the past, people would call you up and ask for, hey, can you give me a couple dollars? I want to get some food. And whether you choose to give whatever amount, but I could tell you right now, persons mostly ask for the food. Why? Because if you give somebody $100 to make some groceries, they have 2 or 3 children. But if they ask you for some grocery, if they ask you for some grocery, you would probably go get some grocery, including some meat, something and you would definitely be spending more than $100. So a lot of the persons wise up now because if I ask you, might give
you get it.
I understand.
You will see what take that cost.
So the bills, the food. I've even gotten requests for assistance with clothing.
Yeah.
Right, so on a whole, the economic aspect of day-to-day living has been, I believe, multiplied. There's definitely a cash flow issue among households, right? People don't have that spendable income.
What would you say are some of the contributing factors towards that?
Well,
we heard the government's mention that unemployment percentage has reduced a whole lot and so forth. But why are we still in that particular?
Well, unemployment in what sectors? But were they talking about unemployment in the whole Grenadian sector, or was it in a specific sector? Right? Was it the whole unemployment in the whole Grenadian economy, or was it in maybe construction sector or the hotel sector? I don't know, but I can see it. I can see that as being true, especially since there was a report that came out that pegged unemployment up until June at 10.8. So if you say in June it was 10.8, and then a month later or 2 months later is now at 7.5. I mean that's a drastic drop in the unemployment, and then the question is, are they adjusting it for who's employable?
Yeah,
I'm not sure, because if you go around the constituency, well, I can speak for St. George Northeast constituency, there's certainly a lot of persons that are unemployed, a lot of young people that fully qualified and just can't find a job. So again, economics, right? The money, if the money is not there, if people don't have the money to spend, they can't spend it. And right now, persons are complaining. You go in any one of the banks now, and pretty much there's no lines. If you walk into the bank and there's no line there, what does that say? We grew up in a society, and
someone may say, depending on the time of the month you go to the bank.
It shouldn't even matter. Persons get paid twice a month now.
Yeah, but sometimes between that the payment time and the other time, there's a little bit too.
So the money not money in. So the economics not economic.
We're due for a break, Ms. Ollivierre. Let's take it. When we come back, we continue the conversation. Stay with us. To the Point Classic Radio Tribune TV. We'll be right back after the short break. Don't touch it now.
Grenada, get ready to celebrate culture, creativity, and community. It's the Kamahon Folk and Buy Local Festival happening on Friday, December 5th to Sunday, December 7th at the Sates Bus Terminal in St. Patrick. Friday, December 5th will be the opening night with prayers and worship. Then feel the rhythm ride with theater performances. On Saturday, December 6th, it's Market Day and cultural celebration in Sates. Come celebrate our roots with Asaraka. Sunday, December 7th, it's the grand finale. Folk celebration. We close the festival with pure culture, the rich traditions that makes us who we are. So mark your calendars. Friday, December 5th to Sunday, December 7th. Sates Bus Terminal, Kamahon Folk and Buy Local Festival. This event is brought to you by Ministry of Tourism, Creative Economy and Culture
in partnership with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Trade and Export Development.
Megaforce Promotions, in proud collaboration with Ariza Credit Union and GBN, presents Grenada's biggest flea market at Monroe's Plainfield, Saturday 21st and Sunday 22nd December, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Shop unbeatable deals on bed and curtain sets, appliances, household items, electrical and plumbing supplies, toys, Christmas decorations, clothing and shoes, perfumes and colognes, wines and drinks, and just about everything else. Plus a kids area, live entertainment, food and drink stalls. Want to be a vendor? Call 440-4646 to book your spot before they're all gone. Admission $5. 2 full days of deals and more deals. Shopping, fun and savings. Monroe's Plainfield Flea Market. Don't miss it.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers. Once again, it's To The Point, Classic Radio GBN TV. It's Opposition Tuesday today on today's edition. And we have Mr. Nimrod Ollivierre with us this morning. Let's continue with our conversation. So, Ollivierre, welcome back. Business activity. You are someone who, of course, indulge in a lot of business activity. Tell me, junior visit to local businesses and so forth. What concerns you here, business owners? About their sale. Their customers' activity, visiting their establishment and so forth. How is that? What are those conversations you've been hearing?
So I have started as part of my constituency work. I made a list of all the businesses throughout St. George's Northeast, and I have started visiting them. I've been doing it about a month now. It doesn't matter the business. Established business, a business by the side of the road. So I go me and my team and engage them. And I tell you the very first week that I went, I was a bit taken aback because the language was the same, no matter the type of business, whether it was the barber shop, whether it was the grocery store, whether it was the person selling by the side of the road. It was consistent that business is down and persons are not. Persons just don't have the spending power. Most of the shopkeepers.
So you're saying a lot of low picture that folks picture that in those businesses is very low?
Yes, it's very low. And people have to making real choices. I mean, a couple of the shop owners, indicated that persons that would have never asked for credit in the past are now coming and seeking credit. And again, you're dealing with basic commodities, right? Stuff, food stuff. So, persons come to your business and wanting to credit that, and knowing you from the community, so they might have 2 or 3 children. How do you really say no?
But how are they going to pay you now?
Well, one of the shopkeepers, actually more like 2 of them, indicated that they do it and raising the same concern, not even knowing if and when they're going to get paid. He, however, raised the point though when when the supplier come, when the salesman come, I have to find the money to pay them. But he said, even I'll be honest with you, even what I used to buy, let's say I would the van come and he draw the example, and I will buy maybe 18 tin of corned beef or 18 tin of sardine. Now I have to cut it back because it's just not there.
I mean, what would you say could actually do or help these businesses to stabilize themselves during this particular period? Business, no one's want to go into a business for loss.
Right.
You understand? What business could do to get to stabilize themselves, to see that, things are rolling so they can continue serving the communities and so forth, what they're doing?
Well, for one, I think a lot of these businesses, the profit of margin is very, very, very minimal to begin with. So I think the prices, I think the basket of goods that we currently look at in terms of giving the government assistance to, i.e. VAT deferred or tax deferred, I think we need to take a second look at that basket. And there are basic, everyday, common products or common household products that a mother needs to feed her children. And some of those goods, I think the government should seriously look at making some sort of adjustment so that it becomes more affordable.
Well, you recommend a reduction in the VAT or something of that nature?
The VAT and any of the other government taxes that are built into the price of the goods. I mean, the reality of it is you're talking in 2022 when you were looking at a pound of sugar that was probably $1.90, $2 a pound. It's approaching almost $3 a pound now, right? So in 3 years' time, you have maybe almost $1 and change increase on something. And I'm just using sugar, right? But what didn't change in that three years is probably my level of income, right? And if anything, I may have added to my family, maybe added another child to my family within that time. And my income remains constant. Price has gone up.
How are you balancing?
How are you balancing that? right? So I think it's incumbent on the administration to take a look. Look, it's not a partisan something, it's not a political something, it's something that's the bread and butter is affecting each and every one of us in society. I myself had a little experience a couple of weeks back, and I kind of put it up on my shared it on my WhatsApp. I won't put it on, but basically I went to the grocery, picked up a few things. It was like my sister was with me. Some milk. She wanted crackers, some cheese. A couple of little things. No rice, no flour, no meat, no nothing. And it was 2 of those little bags. Yeah. And the young lady said $351. And I looked, said $351. I was like, wow. And at that moment, I'm like, hey, it was just kind of me and my sister, and I don't even have the thing she had in the bag. Anyway, but again, no meat, no flour, no rice, no pasta, no nothing. So then you ask yourself, well, a family of 5, mother, father, and 2 kids or 3 kids.
I'm still trying to keep the conversation on the continuity. I mean, we're talking about the economic pressures that you say residents are feeling. With the rising cost of living as it stands right now, that's really affecting businesses, especially people in the small businesses like the farmers, the households, especially within your constituency. How is that cost of living affecting them?
GT, it's affecting them to the point where some are expressing despair. Yeah. To the point where they want to give up, and you encourage them, and you point on, and of course assist in whatever way that you can. But everybody has their individual things that they have to handle, and they would like to see, and so you're not in a position to help everyone. And so what I do, I encourage those in the constituency that can assist. Hey, take a look at your neighbor. But we had to keep in mind also, as Grenadians, we are a very poor person. Yes. Right? We would want the assistance, and we would solicit, but we do not want,
especially when it comes to a neighbor knowing what you need and stuff.
It's instilled in all of us. We are poor proud. Yeah. Right. You heard stories in the past where you'd hear pots and pans banging in a kitchen, but really nothing was, But we laugh at it to make the point that each one of us, and we have to look out for our neighbors.
But someone might ask a question: is it that bad, sir?
It is.
Is it that bad?
It is.
Or is it just a way of folks talking it on a political way?
No,
is it that bad?
The economic situation in the country right now, as it relates to food and bills, it's bad. It's there. Again, yes, you will have those that can afford, but the vast majority.
But sometimes we do see individuals, being part of entertainment and so forth. So we still ask ourselves, is it that bad of a concern? They're going to be a cruise or something, and you see the vast amount of people enjoying themselves. So are we saying, if the economy is that bad, the cost of living is that high, should we see less of these particular activities happening because the support should have been done? If you get my direction,
I understand what you're saying, and it's an age-old something, but the question is, and you would take a look at that, but you might see someone in a function. Yeah. The question is, did they buy that ticket to go to the function? Mm-hmm. And then sometimes they are so stressed that someone offer them a ticket and they take it and they go and they enjoy it.
So you say it's a form of stress relief. To a point. Tell me, what areas of support do you believe would bring most relief to residents, especially in the short term? We want to have a better Christmas. We see the road projects are happening. That's going to bring some relief to some individuals and so forth.
While that is happening, I commend the government for giving some. I would like and hope well, I don't know if they'll have time get the money for Christmas, but maybe they could have increased the amount of road gangs and stuff like that, so then more families would be blessed and help them get through the holiday season. Again, you mentioned the barrel, but that's something coming from the diaspora, and it's not everyone getting a barrel. So I would have liked to see.
Would you have preferred an earlier announcement, maybe?
Earlier announcement, or some more tangible thing that could touch more families locally. So maybe we do a week of VAT-free on groceries. No VAT whatsoever on groceries for a week. I don't know, maybe that something like that is more tangible and it's more readily effective for those that are in that position. Because while the barrel would help some, we are assuming that everyone gets a barrel, and that's just not true. Right? So one section of society will get that, but you're talking about the person that goes to the shop every day to buy the half pound of flour, the pound of rice, and the pound of chicken to feed a family of 4. I
understand, but with the current economic climate that we in right now, and with activities that are planned, there's communities and constituency have different plans that they're going to have, a little Christmas event and stuff like that. How would that really, what kind of influence would that have on those plans between those constituencies, especially all leading up to Christmas and New Year and stuff like that?
So what happened, and yes, a lot of the groups, the local groups in the community, they do plan Christmas stuff, but what you find is that the groups, most of the groups don't probably have a financial backing themselves, so they solicit assistance, right? They look for contributions to make that happen. I myself have received requests from a number of groups within the constituency that indicated that, look, they want to do something, especially for the children. And when I asked, I say, well, why the children only, and why not something for the older folks in the constituency? And they're like, well, Christmas, is about joy and for the children.
Some folks will say Christmas is for children.
And then I will push back and say, but there's some older folks that really need the assistance. And then they would say, listen, as much as yes, you're right, and we would like to do that, we just cannot. We don't think we'll get the assistance where we can do that. So we keep the focus on the children.
All right.
So I encourage more of that. I encourage those that can assist the groups. Please go ahead and do that so that they can take care of those that's needed. The children, at least they'll get a toy, and even those that are focused on doing some food baskets for the older one. Yes, myself and my team within the constituency, we are working on a number of things for the different aspects of the constituency. There's 9 areas in the constituency, and so we will do different things throughout.
Oh, great. Yeah. We do for a break. Let's take it. When we come back, we continue the conversation. Hey folks, it's To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. We drew for a break. Let's take it. When we come back, we continue. Stay with us, folks. Don't touch it out.
Grenada Get Ready, GBN, the Ministry of Education, and the Division of Culture proudly presents Christmas Harmony 1.0, the inaugural primary school carol singing competition. Join us on Friday, December the 5th at 1 p.m. at the Grenada Trade Center. Magical voices, festive spirit, and exciting competition await. Tickets, adults $10, children $5. Christmas Harmony 1.0, no better place to be. Be there.
Megaforce Force Promotions, in proud collaboration with Ariza Credit Union and GBN presents Grenada's biggest flea market at Monroe's Plainfield, Saturday 21st and Sunday 22nd December, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily. Shop unbeatable deals on bed and curtain sets, appliances, household items, electrical and plumbing supplies, toys, Christmas decorations, clothing and shoes, perfumes and colognes, wines and drinks, and just about everything else. Plus a kids area, live entertainment, food and drink stalls. Want to be a vendor? Call 440-4646 to book your spot before they're all gone. Admission $5. 2 full days of deals and more deals. Shopping, fun and savings. Monroe's Plainfield Flea Market. Don't miss it.
This Christmas, GBN is lighting up Grenada. From November the 10th to December the 24th, your festive season starts right here with GBN's Christmas Catalog 2025. Start your mornings with mid-morning magic. Weekdays 10 to 12, live fun, giveaways, and Christmas cheer every day. On Friday, December the 5th, the school's Christmas challenge lights up the Trade Center. 15 schools, 1 trophy, and the voices filled with holiday joy. Then on Saturday, December the 20th, it's Christmas in Camahan. Live music, food, shopping, toy giveaway, and the grand tree lighting ceremony. And on Monday, December the 22nd, join GBN's Caroling in the City, spreading Christmas cheer all through St. George's. Every Sunday from 5 to 7, enjoy Yuletide Sundays with classic Christmas tunes and prices galore. And from December the 1st, K105's Lights of Christmas. Guess that hidden cash and win. So whether you're singing, shopping, or celebrating, do it with GBN. Connecting with you this Christmas. Our partners making it possible: Flow, Ace Hardware, Foodland Supermarket, Grenada Duty Free, Answer Coating, Banfields, and Koyawa Beach Resort. GBN's Christmas Catalog, connecting you this season.
Welcome back once again to our listeners. Welcome back to our viewers. Of course, we're in a conversation this morning here on To The Point with Mr. Nimrod Ollivierre, representing the new National Party. Of course, he's the caretaker for the constituency of St. George Northwest?
Northeast.
Northeast. Northwest is the dog. Northeast. All right. I want to ask you in terms, I want to speak on projects within the constituency. Some of it, of course, was project that may have rolled over from the previous administration. Talk to me with the status of some of those major projects in your constituency, such as the Vendome Plainfield, the Willis By Road. I hear some information lately from government in terms of restarting that particular project. The bridge, the Boca Secondary School, the field at Boca Secondary School. And tell me, what are some of the factors affecting the pace of these projects in terms of completion? Those that may have gone to that slow or stalled the pace, if you could say that. Talk to me about that, sir.
So the Willis, we'll start with the Willis Bridge and By Road. So that was a project that was started under the former administration, and when the new administration came in, it was stopped. we were told, well, after it was stopped, and then there was a meeting, I believe, maybe about a year after it was stopped. Residents would have expressed some concern, and both the MP and the Prime Minister came up and met with the residents, because there was some backed up running water and all of that from part of the by road, and the residents were ensured that the project was stopped because there were some design flaws, and that it will restart.
I heard of land acquisition issues and stuff like that.
All of that was, I was in the constituency. I was not the MP. I was the caretaker for the former administration, and there were no issues regarding land acquisitions and all of that. We were also told that there was an issue with the contractor and all of that. If there was an issue with the contractor for that site, he was removed. But then you gave him a contract to do other jobs. But that's neither here nor there. At that time in 2023, the residents were assured that everything would be taken care of, and the project would resume. What was done where they came because of the water, the drain was filled up so that the water was not settling there, but nothing substantial started with the actual resumption of construction. 2023, this is 2 years later. I think last week I saw a news article from GBN. I saw it in browsing, and where they would have spoken to the MP, and the MP indicated that there was some design drawing issues, and that will be resolved, and so the project would continue. But we were told that in 2023. And 2 years later, we're still being told about, right across from that, there was a boardwalk, and again, I commend GBN for taking it up. I guess the residents still concerned. I hear it all the time. I spoke on it before, but this time I'm glad that the resident may have reached out to GBN, or maybe GBN saw the news and saw the plight and decided to advocate on behalf of the constituents. So I commend them for that. And right across from the bridge there's a little walkway that's totally dilapidated that served as a tourist site for a mini fall that's there. Nothing, right? We move on to Vendom. The Vendom Plainfield project, that was started by this administration. While there were plans to get it done under the former administration, that project was actually implemented by this current administration. And again, I commend them for that, because Vendom plays an integral part in sports in Grenada. A lot of soccer, a lot of cricketers came from, a lot of football players and cricketers came out from Vendom. I hosted I think in either 2021 or 2022, I hosted a soccer tournament there, and it was, you had about 20-something teams, so I know that means a lot to that community. So I was happy when I saw the field getting done. However, it started in late 2022, early 23. We are now in 2025. Right across from Vendom Plainfield is a school where normally use the field there for the recreational activity. And they have been defranchised in that way. Now, that school, when they have their sports, they had to get into buses to go to Bushesu Plainfield. And it's just not right, because a project like that should not be taking us 3 years. So that's at a standstill. I spoke out about it. And they came, they moved the heavy equipment, and again, that's all.
But no information still in terms of the reason why.
No information.
That project?
Behind the scenes, I don't know if they blame the contractor, but it had nothing. I was told, that they were looking to put a cricket pitch there, and so the ministry would have held up some of the initial work. But how, we have a lot of fields, and we have qualified personnel here that built cricket fields and cricket pitches before. So again, why is it taking 2 or 3 years if that's the real issue? Okay. Right? Boca Plainfield, we spoke out about it. The MP held a meeting with residents. After I spoke out about it, he held a meeting a couple weeks later, and again I showed them that they would resume, and you know, because again, Boca is very, very, very high performing in sports among secondary schools, so they need the facilities there, right? Both the playing field part and the basketball court. Met with the residents and informed them that the project will resume and they will finish it up. Nothing so far. So that's the plight of these projects. Now, the other aspect of that, it goes back to what we were speaking about initially. These projects also add to the economic lifeline of the constituents, because you have a lot of local constituents that gets employment and therefore they earn an income, and that income is now circulated into the local businesses. You know, that way the persons from the community that work and they earn them, when they get paid every week or every 2 weeks, they go right back to the community shops and spend that money. Right. So it's cyclical.
You know, some residents may say that, you know, the more engagement you have with an MP or so forth, how do you assess the current level of representation within your constituency? Well, I do have the MPA from time to time, and gives a different perspective. I want to hear your perspective.
Well, I mean,
in terms of engagement, he says that he's always there and so forth. I want to get your what you're hearing differently.
He can always say what he wants, but the reality of it, and it's not. Look, I'm in the constituency. I have residents there. I own a house there. So you know, and I walk around the constituency. I get calls. People tell me they're not seeing him, and that's a fact. And when you call the office, you can never get an appointment, a proper appointment to see him. It's always something. You know, it's not something that, you know, I'm just making up or whatever. I could say, from one, what I'm seeing, and two, what people say to me when I go knock on the door, that they don't see the MP. Hey, this is, you know, I'm seeing you more often. This is twice you already came back, and you know, I've been calling. We have this issue here, we have that issue there, and we can't get in touch with the MP. They say they call, phone ring out, and when they answer the phone, it's not available, there's no appointments. So it's not Nimrod's word, it's the constituents. So any issue is the constituents.
I may also ask you this. There's always that saying that individuals who are looking in from the outside will always feel they can handle things differently. If you get the direction I am going with this. Possibility comes around, you get elected in the next election. What different would you do in terms of what we see and been done currently? What is that difference? If I could hold you to that the next time and you come to this show, if I'm still doing it, and I would say, you know, Mr. Ollivierre, you said you were going to do this or you're going to do that, and I'm not seeing it.
So I will tell you, not if I get elected, but when I get elected, right? We speak it into being.
Into reality, as some people say.
But look, I'm a big believer. I'm not sure if I share that with you. I'm a big believer that you ask persons to elect you to represent them. So they are your employers, right? You the employee, they employ. I'm also a big believer that when you elect me, if you don't see me until 5 years later, when it's time for election, and I show up at your door 5 years later and you didn't see me in between that time, you should run me from your doorstep. You shouldn't even answer your door. I truly believe that with my whole being. I'm saying that to say that, what would I do different? Obviously, if the one constituency day is not working, then maybe we have to find time to maybe do 2 constituency days, or maybe adjust the hours where you can see the maximum amount of people, right? Because I think an elected MP, someone that went to the people and asked to serve them, has to and should stay in contact with the residents and the constituents. And I don't believe in you get there and then you're aloof. You have to be on the ground with those. And so, yes, I'm giving you my word and my commitment, GT, that when I do get elected, that's who I will be. I see myself as a groundsman. Listen, I see myself as a sort of kind of ghetto youth, and you can't get away from that. I will be on the ground, and you will. You don't even have to wait until I come in the program. You need a small, you will see me over there. You could get my number and say, Mr. Man, you was in a program and this is what you say. And people saying they ain't seen you. But I assure you that phone call would never happen because I, Nimrod Ollivierre, would remain on the ground to serve those that took the time out to elect me.
All right. Well, I certainly hope that the listeners and viewers will pay attention to your words, and in time to come, of course, they will see if your word is your bond. Some folks would say.
What is born?
All right.
That's the mantra as being in the ghetto, right? What is born?
7 minutes moving up before the top of the hour. Of course, in this segment, we're going to, of course, entertain a couple of calls before we wrap this morning. 435-2041. We're going to wrap exactly at 10 a.m. this morning. 435-2041. If you do have a question or two you would like to, of course, ask Mr. Ollivierre, feel free to do it. I'm seeing one question from someone via the WhatsApp. Let me see if I could throw it out to you and get a response from that. Someone is saying that they say, Mr. Ollivierre, the Vendome playing field was in a total disarray. I'll put this word in between there in terms of what they actually wrote a long time before 2022. They say that Boca playing field was a problem which was for decades ago, and of course, and the facts would address the fact, and they're saying that those facts would be addressed soon. So they're trying to say, yes, you speaking of this, the issues with these playing fields, the Vendome and the Boca, but they're saying that was long before 2022.
So hold on. That's not totally true. And I will be debunk that. Like I said, if the person was listening, I hosted a soccer tournament in the Vendome playing field. Played on that field. Was the field optimal? No. Obviously, that's why work was scheduled to be done in it, right? But we hosted a soccer tournament there with about 20 teams from all over Northeast constituency. You had like Mardi Gras, Northeast and Northwest actually played there. Mardi Gras, Tempe, Willis. It was 20 teams. We had to cut it off because more and more teams wanted to come, right? And we played in Vendome playing field. There was an issue there with drainage and maybe leveling the field some more. But to say that the field was in total disarray, that's categorically false. However, the issue is, does it take 3 years to get the work done? It's going on 3 years now, right? So a project that was slated to take 6 months to a year is now going on 3 years, and we're trying to justify it and saying that we can't. We can't always. We have to stand up for what is right. It's affecting the residents in the community. It's affecting the school, and we have to. It's not about politics. The point is, it's taken 3 years to do a project that should have taken 6 months to a year. That's what was being told. So to try to justify it and say the field was totally... No, we were actually using the field.
Okay. We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning. You're welcome.
Hello. Good morning, GP. How are you doing this morning?
Doing great. Let's hear from you.
All right. First of all, I would like to say, Mr. Ollivierre, good morning to you, sir. In terms of the MP for St. George Northeast, Honorable Ron Reddhead, I will say this morning. This man is one of the personnel that is very easy to find. Very, very easy to find. And he's a lot in the community. Why I could tell you that? Because there's a couple people down on the block which I've even tell him about when he passing through. He was able to aid a lot of those fellas right now with weed eaters, etc., in which they are conducting their own trade right now in the Christmas season. Secondly, the road that has the project that was condemned in down by River Hill area down there, I'm happy to know that this project is getting started again, because we, the people in Northeast, know there is a lot of bottlenecks in that project, and I mean from the subcontractors especially. There was some money that was poured into that contract after the government came in. They tried to move that project forward, but it wasn't feasible. And he had subcontractors in the area who just election gimmicks that went on. And we the people know. Then we can't see down Mr. Ollivierre. As you're saying, that's why I made the clarion call for you the last time. Probably you should consider Northwest. No, the Honorable MP, Rod Reddhead, they just came in this thing here and they're trying to make this thing work. The Grenada problem right now is a skill shortage. We have a skill shortage in the construction industry, and everywhere you go with certain projects is affecting a lot of projects from moving forward the way that it should move forward, because we don't have that labor force to back up the projects that we're doing. Mr. Latouche spoke of it just last night as well. We're having a skill shortage. So the Imani program, in my view, the Imani program didn't meet the criteria as it's supposed to for a lot of these young people. And I'm a young person. We should not have been in that problem that we are in today, because you could have 1,000,001 projects going on. And what the government seems to try to do is to create employment for their people in a lot of ways by giving out a lot of this contract. Look at the WASH program. There's a lot of fellas in the Northeast area, Monster, etc., etc. A lot of new fellas got the contracts, which I'm happy to see. As compared to before, we had artists, soca artists getting contract and they know nothing about construction. That wasn't the right way to go. Now, let me wrap up, GT. We need that skill shortage problem we have in Mr. Ollivierre. That's a major problem in Grenada right now. So we have to look at that and try to fix that. And it might be a conflicting problem, because Grenadians might say, oh, we're getting people from outside to come in here to work, but the government will have to look at that sooner or later. Then I think price controllers need to be doing the work. Because, GT, let me put that out here and wrap up quickly. I buy in a case of malt in the breweries just last week day for $65. And we're out here, in some instances, you're going to buy a Vita malt, it costs $7 and $8 in some instances. And I'm trying to figure out, why is it that we're paying all that? When it reaches, the more you go into the country, the more expensive it costs you. If you're shopping Grand Ontario, for example, $500-700, real value IGA, food fare, you're seeing more grocery than what you could get from the small shops. You understand? And I want to give a big shout out to KM2 Solution for coming on board, and for the member of Northeast working along with that with them there to ensure that they came down here in Northeast. They were supposed to go in Granans, and they provide a lot of jobs for the people of Northeast, and it's really helping us in a big way. So, Mr. Nimrod Ollivierre, again, Mr. Ron Redhead is one that is in the community, and he is not hard to find. He is not hard to find.
Caller, thank you. Thank you, caller.
With the politicking this morning. Have a good one, GT.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Respond to the caller if you could, if it's possible. We only have a few more minutes left, but if you can.
So, blessings, my brother. Thank you for the call. But obviously, I don't know if you missed the part where I said it's not me. It has nothing to do with me. It's the constituents. It's the residents. So if you want to take on the residents and call them liars, then feel free to do so. But it's Nimrod Ollivierre can only report what he gets as he goes door to door knocking. I'm not sure if the current MP goes door to door knocking, but I'm sure if he does that, the residents will tell him. And you made my point, because you started the conversation by saying the MP met a couple guys. A couple or a few guys, I think is the word you use. A few or a couple. There's about 8,000 residents in St. George Northeast. So him meeting a couple guys on the block and giving them a couple weed each from the $10,000 constituency money is not meeting the residents. It's not knocking on the doors of the residents and listening to their plight. So some of the advice that you have for me, maybe you should put the MP sit down, give him that advice and tell him the residents and the constituents are the ones that are saying that they are not seeing him. We can't, we all over the place about projects and the projects and so that are being implemented. A lot of it was, you guys don't like that word, but a lot of it was in the pipeline under the former administration, and it's just a matter of implementation now. And this administration cannot even seem to be getting that correct.
We do have another caller. Caller, you're live. Good morning.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Telesford. Can you get
Go right ahead, please. Go right ahead, Mr. Ruler. Go right ahead.
You know, I'm sitting there, I'm listening to this thing, and it's all the same thing. Every politician, whether they be elected or not, or aspiring towards a politician and winning a seat, is the same thing. And I'm concerned about the future of this country if we continue this way. So I want to take a different direction just because I'm testing the ground here, Mr. Ollivierre. Let me ask you this. Are you aware that Grenada is not a fully independent and sovereign nation state? Are you aware of that? As an aspirant to a politician, because I know you're aiming to gain the position of a legislator, lawmaker, member of parliament. Are you aware of that, sir? Don't be afraid. Answer my question.
You want to answer?
Well, as far as I know, we are independent, but maybe you might have some knowledge that would point to the fact that...
as far as you know?
Yes.
Well, I want to assure that this country is not. It's simply because we ruled by a king. Section 23 and 57 of the Constitution Order of 1973 tells you that crystal clearly. Therefore, I ask you this. Well, should I advise you first before, and the next time you come back, I'll ask you. Please read the Constitution of Grenada, and the next time you come back, I'll ask you the question whether or not you think we should continue with this melee and tebe, one in and the other one fight him down until he come back and so on, while the people of this country suffer. Just a little guidance on this one here, because I'm tired of this whole talk. Have a nice day, will you? Yeah?
All right, so I think he left her. We have one more caller, which will be our final caller for the morning. Caller via WhatsApp. Good morning, you're live. Go right ahead with your contribution, please.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. First of all, I would like to say good to hear you, Ollivierre. Second of all, the 2019 freight and the port, what the farm administration put in place to cushion the effect of the poor people and because of the rising cost of food throughout, not only in Grenada, throughout the world. And government have a responsibility, right? So the farm administration put that in effect for especially the less fortunate, right? And then what this administration do, they remove the freight from the port. They remove the gas, the tap and gas. They remove the electricity, the things where they have the 25% charge on the non-fluid electricity. So what do you expect? Then electricity will go up. Then they put up on water, especially that additional $250. Poor people have to be scared for the water not to cut off. So when you see all these things going up, today you see one price, tomorrow you see another price, is because of the rising cost, and the government is not taking charge and they're not putting things in place to control this, especially for the low income people like me going back this whole, right? So we're going to suffer for some time. You have people who are going to skip a meal to take their medication, skip their medication to take a meal. And it's not easy. It's because of the government irresponsible to put back the freight on the port. So if the government put back the freight on the port, or the zero rate on VAT on certain food item, the basic food item, I think it's going to be a lot easier for the less fortunate people on this island. I could go more to say other things, but time not permit me to. Have a pleasant day.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. And that was our final caller for the morning. So we got to that stage in the morning. It's already 5 minutes after the hour of 10 o'clock. We have to take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. Anything in closing you would like to mention, sir?
Well, I just want to thank the caller for raising those points. GT, I also just want to close by saying, maybe the administration needs to take a look at its priorities. We hear of hundreds of thousands of dollars being spent on procurement of vehicles for MPs and stuff like that. I don't know how you could use the vehicles to serve people that are wanting for basic needs, for their sustenance on a daily basis. Maybe if they get sick, you could take them to the hospital, but maybe we should try and preventing that. So I think the administration needs to refocus and take a serious look as to what can be done to assist our residents. I'm speaking for St. George Northeast, and I know the problem exists throughout other constituencies. I do hope that some relief would come so that we would have an enjoyable Christmas. I like black cake, and so when I visit, the constituents, I'm hoping that a little piece of cake there. I will continue to assist and help those way I can.
I hope the residents are listening and they will have one prepared for you when you pop by.
But let me take this opportunity. I'm not sure if I will be back before the holiday season, but let me wish everyone a joyous holiday season, and let's work towards having a safe and healthy and prosperous Christmas, and all the best for the new year coming.
All right. And the same goes out to you, sir. Our best wishes for the rest of the day, and hope you have an enjoyable season when you do approach.
Thank you.
Hey, folks, that's how we're going to take a wrap for today's edition of To The Point. I want to thank all who contributed towards today's program. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Until we meet again, have a good one. That's where I say goodbye.